That's nuts.
Welcome back, everyone. As you probably guessed, we are going over this little PCC right here that is in my hands. This is the Romanian-made DRACO 9S, and since it says DRACO in the name, I know this thing will be loved in the streets. So what is it? Well, again, Romanian-made, a little 9mm AK. A few things going on that we will walk through here in just a second, but the biggest one that differentiates it from other 9mm AKs, if you will, that have come in from Romania over the years is the magazine pattern. So this one here takes CZ Scorpion mags, or CZ Scorpion pattern mags, which we'll get into in more detail here in just a second. But we have an 11-inch, just over 11-inch, chrome-lined 9mm barrel that is threaded 1/2 x 28 out there on the end, obviously an optics rail as well. So with that brief intro out of the way, let's head out to the range, see what kind of groups this little guy can produce, and then come back and walk through it tip to butt.
Welcome back to the farm. If you are hearing a black helicopter circling overhead, that is not you, you're not crazy. There actually is a Black Hawk circling overhead. We're gonna see what kind of groups we can get out of this pairing. Got the Bowers group can on there, the 40 cal can out at the end, and 6-hour red dot. Target is downrange at 50 yards. In the gun right now, we have some ammunitions, I believe 124 grain, and we'll see what it'll do with this little setup here. CTK precision rest, and make it happen. I think that was 5. No idea. But we're going with it. All right, next up we have some defensive ammo. So this is from Gorilla Ammunition. These are their 115 grain, all copper, hollow points. Probably a nasty little round, I would imagine. So we'll see how it likes that. Let's go check them out. I will certainly take both of those groups with a pistol and a red dot at 50 yards all day. So, first up with that Minuteman, we were just under 2 inches center to center, right around 1 7/8 inches. And with that Gorilla, we're right at 1.5 inches center to center. So again, given the conditions, I will take that all day long.
As we said out there, I will take those groups all day long, especially with the dot and just a standard AK trigger. So again, starting out tip to butt, it is threaded 1/2 x 28 out there at the end. So most of your common 9mm suppressors will work on there just fine. Additionally, it does come with that barrel nut there for the classic DRACO look on there. We have a combination, what would be a gas block, front sight block, but of course it's not actually a gas block because this is a direct blowback system, but it has the same look, which is cool in my opinion. And then as you guys can see there, the actual front sight is zeroed, so all the sights are aligned as they should be. Good on them for that. It does come with a wood handguard on there that you guys have probably seen me shooting with, as well as some of the B-roll, but we replaced it with some Fab Defense furniture on there. So this is the Fab Defense M-Lock handguard. Works extremely well, and the beauty of this gun is that any of your standard AK handguard sets will work on there, AKM. So the same would be true with the gas tube, if you will. Again, it's not a functional gas tube, but if you wanted to put like a railed tube on there or something like that, you certainly could. Got a light mount on there, and of course we have our sling attachment points, which are steel reinforced. I dig that. Continuing on back, we have what looks to be a standard rear sight for an AK. But those of you guys who are AK autists will notice that the actual distances are changed from what is normal. So typically they would go out to either 800 or 1,000 depending on the country of origin. But these ones only go out to 4, and that is how it works. I don't think they're actually calibrated right. I would say it'd be better than nothing, but good luck. I would verify that distance first before you actually start using the ladder to dial in your distance and elevation. So top rail on there, let's talk about that. This one there is screwed down. It is Loctited from the factory. I was actually kind of shocked by that. Didn't expect it, but this portion here where it hinges on is a key component to how it works and how reliable it is. So you can see there it hinges up, and this portion right here under the front sight is reinforced over what you would typically get with just mounting a 1913 rail on the back. And in my experience using this gun, we've had 0 issues with it actually staying zeroed. We've ran several different optics on there. You guys can see we have the Crimson Trace on there. We've also had the Sig Sauer Romeo MSR on there. 0 issues with POI shift at all. That said, I've been running it forward most of the time and just with basic physics in mind, that is going to be the place that you're less likely to see POI shifts. So if you're running your optic back here at the rear, much more likely that you would see it. Additionally, they are reinforced back here at the rear. It just makes it a much more durable system than you would typically get with most of your railed optics or dust covers, excuse me. Continuing on back to the mag well, this is something that I think a lot of people are going to like. So the NAC-9 has been out for a long time, and that of course takes Glock magazines. People like that for sure. Glock magazines are good. However, I think with a gun like this, having the curved magazine does look better. Additionally, one thing that is a benefit of it, in my opinion, is that the actual mag release is your traditional AK mag release. You don't have to mess around with buttons on the side like you would with some of the other competitive options. So magwell, slightly flared. It's well done, well executed for sure. Getting on back, we do have a standard safety. Nothing fancy there at all. Your grip, again, we changed it out for the Fab Defense one, but any AKM grip will work on there just fine. We have that 1913 adapter. And then of course, we have our SIG brace on there. We've used other braces, the SP Tactical you guys have probably seen, but we've used a bunch of them. They all work on there just fine as intended. Help you stabilize the gun for sure. On the inside, I'm not going to pull it completely apart because I don't think YouTube would allow for that, but I do want to open it up and just kind of walk you through the parts here with some B-roll. One thing that you'll note right up front is this guy right here. This is both a spacer and a recoil buffer. So typically on AKs, if you're using a recoil buffer, something is really wrong with your AK. That said, that is if you're using a gas piston AK. Again, this is a straight blowback AK, so that actually makes a ton of sense just for recoil management, and probably more importantly, functionally, it prevents your carrier from jumping the rails. So many of you guys may or may not be familiar with that, but one thing that can happen if your receiver is stamped like this one is here and you don't have your rails done correctly is it can actually jump the rail and cause a malfunction that's relatively hard to fix as well. So it prevents that from happening. However, to disassemble the gun, you do have to remove that, and then you can pull your bolt out. And the bolt, of course, is just a straight chunk of steel, as you guys can see here on your screen. It is heavy, as you would expect for a 9mm blowback gun, and very simple as well. Not mad about it at all. And with that, guys, I think we've pretty much gone over all the important parts of the gun with a couple exceptions. Let's talk reliability. So reliability on the gun has been 100% as long as we're using either a Magpul PMag like you guys see here, or a factory CZ Scorpion mag. However, with the other mags that fit Scorpion pattern guns, we've had some issues. So we tried it with both PSA, AKV, or ARV, depending on how you want to define it. Those magazines, as well as the Manticore Arms magazines, and both times what would end up happening is under recoil, it would bump the last round bolt hold open. We should be rolling in a photo of that so you guys can see that here on your screen. It would bump that and lock the bolt back when you don't want the bolt to be locked back. So let's take a look at that.
Got some Red Army standard steel case loaded up in a Palmetto State Armory magazine, Scorpion mag. Failure to feed. It appears, just looking in there, that it's actually actuating the bolt hold open device. That's interesting. Failure to feed. It's gotta be a mag.
I should also note, if you live in a free state, it does ship with that Magpul mag, so the fact that it works with that is obviously a good thing. But having other variants out there, you guys might just want to try, see which ones work in your guns and which ones don't. I feel very confident with the Magpul P mags. Again, zero malfunctions of any kind with those. And as of right now, we have just under 2,000 rounds through this gun. You guys, I'm sure, have seen the wear that we have here on the finish and all of those sorts of things. And again, with these magazines, or the CZ, zero malfunctions. The vast majority of that ammo, I would probably say 80 to 90% was fired with that combination. And the only malfunction we saw throughout the entire process was the one that you guys just saw. So it's definitely a mag related issue. So all in all, pretty impressive in terms of reliability. Let's talk cost. That's actually where this gun shines. So when these first came in, they were a lot more expensive than they are right now. I don't know why that is, but I'm glad to see it. So right now, these ones are coming in relatively frequently around the 500 units of measure, since we can't say prices, 500 units of measure price point. So that is pretty darn good in my opinion for a very reliable, as we said, just use the right mags. It's been 100% reliable for a very reliable, simple PCC that uses common controls. So say you're an AK guy and you want to practice a little cheaper because 7.62 by 3.9 is insane right now price wise. This gives you the ability to do that. And it would also be a good option for people who are recoil averse or new shooters or things like that. They tend to really like the PCCs versus a full power or intermediate rifle cartridge. And with that out of the way, we're going to wrap the video up there. If you guys like this type of video and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Apologize for the construction noise we have on the side, but that's just the beauty of filming outside. So hit that subscribe button if you've done that and you're not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel. You are being censored by an algorithm. To get around that, you can sign up for the email at the website here on my screen. It'll get you put on 2 email lists, one of them that goes out once a month, and that'll have all the videos since the previous month's email went out, so it's not super spammy, but also enables you to see my content. And then it will also get you put on the daily deals email, so that goes up pretty much every day, and it has 8 of the best deals that we find around the internet. So if this particular firearm is on sale, it will be in there, and if any item, whatever it is, being accessories, ammo, lights, optics, whatever the item is that's in that email on a given day, if it's in the email, it's the cheapest I know of anywhere for that item. So hopefully it saves you guys some money and saves you some time as well, because I've done the price comparisons for you. Lastly, we have an SMS list that you guys can sign up for as well at the website here on your screen, mrgunsgear/SMS, so .com/SMS. That will get you put on the SMS list, as you may have guessed, and that goes out I would say probably almost every day, and it either has the best deal that we find around the internet for a given item on that day, or it has a new video link that just dropped, so that way, again, you guys can see my content and not be impacted by the algorithm. Additionally, we do a monthly Q&A video over there on the SMS list, so the only way to get on the video is to be on the SMS list, because I text it out before we go live. So I think that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.